On to item 8C, please.
Next, we have item 8C. It's transition of Mountain View Mobile Home Park to nonprofit ownership, and you have 2 requests to speak.
I see Mr. Eagles made a timely entrance from the side door. Entrance stage left. Yes.
Well, the staff who was going to give the report does not seem to be in the room, so let me get started. So before you use consideration of transfer, let me first say I'm Andy Eagle, the Director of Housing and Economic Development. Before you use consideration of the next step in transfer of Mountain View Mobile Home Park to nonprofit ownership, we've gone through an extensive process of developing an RFP, a request for proposals, with input from both the residents of Mountain View as well as the Housing Commission. We put that request for proposals out, received 3 proposals. We put together an evaluation committee of professionals, both nonprofit sector and from the city, to evaluate those. We're supported by Kaiser Marston Associates, who did some of the detailed analysis. The evaluation committee recommended that we move forward with the Caritas Corporation, which is a California-based nonprofit, based on their extensive experience owning mobile home parks, strong financial background, a commitment to community engagement, as well as sensitivity to the unique nature of Mountain View. We're seeking council's authorization to move into exclusive negotiations with Caritas, and we've got a variety of things to negotiate with them, ranging from what would be the city assistance to what would be the affordability levels, how do we address the mix of owners and renters. So with your approval, we would move directly into negotiations with Caritas. Kathy Head from Kaiser Marston is here, and staff is available as well.
All right, don't go anywhere. We have a question for you, Mr. Eagle, from Councilmember Himmerich.
So first of all, I have a really basic question. So I'm aware of this company, and I thought it was pronounced Caritas, but it's pronounced Caritas?
You know what? I do not know. How's that?
I mean,
I'll be honest,
I've talked to
not
them
been
about
there.
other mobile
Okay.
home parks I've been involved in, and I could be wrong or I could be right. But
Caritas?
Caritas is the Latin
Councilmember
for
Himmerich
charity.
has it right, and I pronounced it multiple times incorrectly.
But that's okay. You came off the bench so to do the
did.
staff report.
You
so
did, and
cut you some
I
slack.
never would hold that because I wasn't even sure I was right. But you know, the only real correspondence we've received about this relates to the RECS folks, and I keep waiting for them because. I don't know how many complaints you get, but I hear about them all the time. I mean, and there may be some people who are happy about them. There are other people who are unhappy about them. And there was a good suggestion made that we have some kind of, if they're going to be there for another year, if we can have some kind of grievance resolution process or something that deals with the fact that many residents of this mobile home park feel they have problems with them.
We can look into that, certainly.
I mean, typically it's done voluntarily by a management company, and I can talk to you more about what it would look like.
Sure.
Thanks a lot.
All right, seeing no further questions, we'll move into the public comment. We have Denise Barton and Ken Ward.
Good evening. I'm so glad to hear that the buyer chosen is the same as the residents chose. But of course there are contradictions in the staff report, as well as with what Barbara Collins told the residents of Mountain View Trailer Park. Barbara Collins told the residents that the Real Estate Consultant Service, or REX, that the present management of the trailer park contract ends on June 30th of this year and would not be renewed due to the buyer having its own management services. Yet the staff report says REC's contract will be extended for another year, but it doesn't surprise me considering what an actress Barbara Collins is and how many personalities she has. And I do say this from personal experience. Now let's look at the quality of the services received from REX by the residents of the Mountain View Trailer Park. Management hides behind a locked door at the location, and at times will not even open the door to address you, if they'll speak to you at all. They also seem to have a hard time remembering what they say or what's said to them. But that might be because you have a real estate consulting service with almost no experience or knowledge about managing a trailer park. Managing a trailer park for $750,000 a year, again showing a lowballing of costs in the staff report. In addition to management harassing tenants by making simple repairs take more than 1 day, in my opinion, to disincentivize residents and tenants from asking for repairs to be made, or the repairs being made by the unlicensed repairman damage the city's property. And for Rex management to provide this kind of service, Andy Engel showers them with praise multiple times in the staff report. Maybe both Barbara Collins and Andy Engel should have to live in the horrible conditions they create before they smother it with praise, which is untrue. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ward?
Ken Ward, Mayor, council members, thank you for letting me speak. Staff, thank you. As a resident for over 30 years, I can't even think how many, I think staff made an excellent choice. They passed out brochures on it. We did the research. They don't have any lawsuits against them from the residents like other companies. It's perfect. This is what I've been waiting for. I called them today and I talked to one of the representatives and I was asked about, since I'm an owner and I like to get a new home and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, would they help us? And I had a verbal agreement saying that that's what they want to do. They want a resident-owned park. And I think this is great. I can't thank Andy and the staff as much. The only thing I would say, I would negotiate with them right away on having their managers come in. Since REC's been there, we have lost our community room. It's now their big office that they're inside our community room, which we can't get into because the door's always locked. I think it would probably save money and help expedite the taking over new ownership if we have their management come over and take over on July 1st. I've checked with the other parks that they own. Everyone's happy with them. And then we will have an on-site manager. If you do decide to keep REC as management company, I would go and then tell them that they must honor emails. Since they've been there, they're the only ones that do not live at the mobile home park. The other companies the city has before has always had someone living there 24/7, and they accepted emails. This is the only management company that doesn't want our emails, and we're in a modern world. Thank you.
Thank you. Council members, the matter is now before us. What is your pleasure?
So I have heard of this company. They are the best nonprofit in this field that I'm aware of, and I'm glad we've chosen them. I'm glad the residents are happy. I have a question, Mr. Agel. Is it possible to move them in more quickly, or do we lose leverage in our negotiations?
That's exactly what I say is my first concern, but let us look at it. There are probably pros and cons of the opportunity, and I think we'd need to think about it a little more.
Okay, so now I have a couple more questions, about the deal. So first of all, they're going to honor the existing lot lines of existing tenants, is that right?
Right, so that was,
Landowners.
council adopted that as policy, so they've got some creative ideas to help encourage folks to move within their lot lines, but ultimately they've got to honor them.
And if somebody buys a home, I read in the report that the MAR is 387 or...
Very, very, very low, right.
But is that true? What about for lots? I understand that that's true for the existing tenants, but what about for lots that tenants newly occupy?
So the Mountain View is not subject to vacancy decontrol, so the rents are governed by rent control. Even
Under
if
the
somebody
mobile
new.
home law, under
Right.
the MRL, is that what it is?
I believe that's why, yes.
Okay, and so then my next question would be, I think it's all important. It's important to all of us to have a right to recover the property at the end of our agreement with them.
Absolutely. You'll see our negotiating parameters include that exact element because we want to make certain we've got long-term control, if you will.
Okay, good. So on that note, I will move the staff report together with a recommendation that staff explore the idea of Caritas taking over management of the park as soon as possible, or alternatively, giving instructions to Rex that they have a grievance process, respond to resident emails, to resident phone calls, and to resident visits.
Second.
Just want to check with the city attorney, we can do both these things in one motion? All right, moved by Councilmember Himmelrich and second by Councilmember O'Day. Any discussion? Hearing none, then we'll go to a roll call vote.
Councilmember O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Day,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis,
Yes.
Councilmember Himmerich,
Yes.
Councilmember McCune,
Yes.
and Mayor Winter.
Yes, so that passes unanimously, 6-0. We'll move on to the 13 items, I believe.
13A is recommendation to accept Anita Prentice's resignation